Okay, hear me out. I'm very happy that Sony was able to reach a deal with Marvel Studios, and both studios get the best of both worlds. They both get to include Spider-Man. That's great. Everybody wins. Nobody loses, especially the fans. Now I'm here to tell you that if Sony keeps going the way they're going to kill the superhero genre single-handedly, and I'm going to bring up exactly what I'm talking about just after the intro. And this has been seen before, and it can happen again, so let's get into it. If you guys look at the history of Spider-Man, he certainly is a popular character when it comes to box office. You know, the original Spider-Man set records, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, so it's really no surprise. And Sony understands that they have to move forward with the Spider-Man franchise. They're going to get Tom Holland, they're going to have a Spider-Man, it's great, they're developing a bunch of spin-offs, okay? The problem here is that they might oversaturate the market. Again, we have to take a step back and look at this realistically. People said Marvel Studios will oversaturate the market by releasing like 3 superhero movies a year. Again, they've done that, but it's not oversaturated because each film is completely different than the last one. You know, you look at the likes of Guardians 2 and Doctor Strange and Civil War and Spider-Man and Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Ant-Man. They're not the same film. They're different. You can see them stand alone and that's that, or you can go back and watch some of the other films, or you can watch the team-ups. And it works because the narrative in them is not the same and they look aesthetically different. Building multiple films off of random Spider-Man villains is a huge problem because this will bring to oversaturation because a lot of Spider-Man villains are the result of Spider-Man. You know, that's a problem. That'd be like when DC was going out there going, well, here's our slate and this is what we're going to do. And then they try to do it and they didn't succeed at it because they were approaching it a wrong way. Sony is hitting that same point. They're developing 5 to 6 live-action TV series. They're developing 8 to 9 live-action films as of right now, and the most recent ones that were uncovered was a Mysterio standalone film that would be set in Sony's universe, not Jake Gyllenhaal, and The Hobgoblin. Again, do you see the problem here? This is all a problem. That's too much. You don't need this, especially if Spider-Man has to appear in all of these. You're going to oversaturate Spider-Man. The reason Spider-Man has worked so far is because he's not there all the time. Yes, he appears in the Avengers, but it's a solo film. Then you wait a little bit and it's rinse and repeat. It's the same thing and people have grown accustomed to him. If he starts appearing in 3 films a year and his own standalone film every 2 years, that's a problem. You're hitting oversaturation and people will get sick of it. Sony right now has the potential to single-handedly take down the entire superhero genre and damage it because there's only so much that the audiences will accept that will negatively eventually affect everybody else because it gets to that point where there is too much. You just feel like it's constantly hitting you. That's a problem. They were about to hit this when they announced TASM 2 and all those 3, 4, Sinister 6 and all that. The crowds voted for it. If Morbius succeeds, and if Venom 2 is huge, they're going to be told that it's okay, and they're going to go forward with it. And you're going to get to the point where you're seeing 3, 4, 5 live-action properties based on Spider-Man villains a year. There's no need for that. They don't have that much to them to be able to deliver that much content.